The 1980 Philippine 25 Sentimo coin is part of the Flora and Fauna Series, which was launched by the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas BSP in the late 1970s. Thus, this series aimed to highlight the Philippines' rich biodiversity while modernizing its coinage during a period of economic and political transition. The coin was issued under the presidency of Ferdinand Marcos during his regime's later years. The late 1970s and early 1980 South marked a time of growing unrest, economic strain, and increasing debt for the Philippines. Marcos had declared martial law in 1972, and though it was officially lifted in 1981, his authoritarian rule continued. This political backdrop influenced all aspects of national production, including coinage, design, and mintage practices. The 1980-5 Sentimo belongs to the Flora and Fauna Series, which replaced the Filipino series of coins. It was a bold shift to incorporate native wildlife and cultural motifs, symbolizing national pride. The 25 Sentimo featured the Philippine butterfly, an emblem of transformation, freedom, and the country's tropical environment. Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas Manila portrait of Juan Luna. The obverse of the coin honors Juan Luna y Novicio, one of the Philippines' greatest painters and a national hero. This butterfly is admired for its elegant patterns and is symbolic of both environmental richness and fragility. The 1980-5 Sentimo is a reflection of a broader national agenda to celebrate Filipino identity, its heroes, wildlife, and language, especially during a time when the country was under international scrutiny for human rights issues and economic troubles. The coin served both as a monetary unit and as a cultural tool. The 25 Sentimo was a low denomination coin used for everyday transactions, such as buying candies, jeepney fares, or sari-sari store items. However, inflation during the late 1970s and early 1980 South started eroding its purchasing power, limiting its practical value over time. The Philippines faced increasing inflation, rising foreign debt, and economic stagnation by 1980. While the country saw infrastructure development, it also experienced a widening wealth gap. Coins like the 25 Sentimo were increasingly being hoarded, melted, or neglected due to their declining value in real terms. The late 1980s, the Flora and Fauna Series was phased out in favor of the improved Flora and Fauna Series and later the new BSP series in the 1990s. The 1980-5 Sentimo remained in circulation for a few more years but was eventually demonetized as the BSP modernized its coinage system. The 1980 25 Sentimo coin holds numismatic interest, though not extremely rare. It is sought by collectors of Flora and Fauna Series coins, historical coins from the martial law period, Juan Luna memorabilia, in uncirculated or mint condition. Its value can range from Philippine peso 20 to Philippine peso 100 PHP, or more for perfectly preserved specimens, especially with original luster. The dual focus on a national hero Luna and a native species. Juan Luna's appearance on the 1980 25 Sentimo coin was not just artistic tribute, it was political and cultural messaging. Luna was a 19th century Filipino revolutionary painter, a contemporary of Jose Rizal, and a major contributor to the propaganda movement against Spanish rule. His famous painting, Spoliarium, won a gold medal at the 1884 Exposición Nacional de Bellas Artes in Madrid and became a symbol of Filipinos suffering under colonization. Featuring Luna during Marcos' regime, subtly connected the government's propaganda to revolutionary ideals, even while it was suppressing dissent in the name of order. The Graphium idaeoides, or Philippine butterfly on the coin's reverse, is endemic, meaning it's found only in the Philippines. During the late 1970s and 1980s, there was a global trend of ecological awareness, and this coin was part of that movement. It reminded Filipinos of their biodiverse homeland. Even in the midst of rapid industrial development, the butterfly's delicate nature represented the fragile state of the country's ecosystems, many of which were already threatened by logging, mining, and urbanization. 1980, a 25 Sentimo coin could still buy small goods like street food taho, candies, pay for part of a jeepney fare, or be used in public payphones. It was a common coin, jingling in the pockets of students, vendors, and workers. However, by the mid-1980s, its purchasing power had dropped sharply due to inflation. Many people began to ignore or discard coins of such low value. The 25 Sentimo coin was made from copper nickel, a durable and corrosion-resistant alloy. But due to rising metal costs, there was a push to reduce the metallic content or even eliminate low-value coins entirely by the late 1980s. This coin's composition and mintage techniques were considered modern for its time, struck with high precision by the BSP's minting facility. During the martial law years, 1972 to 1981, government institutions like the central bank became more centralized. Coin production was strictly regulated, and even coin designs were subject to political approval. The inclusion of national symbols and historical figures was part of an effort to instill nationalism, but critics saw it as a form of soft propaganda, used to legitimize the authoritarian regime. Before the Flora and Fauna Series, the Philippines used the Filipino series, 1967 to 1970, for which focused on heroes and Tagalog language. That series was more direct in its patriotic appeal. The Flora and Fauna series brought a more refined aesthetic, using natural imagery to complement its heroic figures. This duality, people and nature, was intended to reflect the nation's soul and resources. In the 2000s and beyond, the 1980-25 Sentimo coin gained value as a vintage collector's item. Numismatists seek. Collectors now consider it a transition-era coin, a bridge between traditional nationalism and modern ecological consciousness. During the 1980s, elementary schools in the Philippines often used coins